Turning a regional vision into a reality requires clear planning, strong commitment, and effective partnerships. With the launch of the IGAD Vision 2050 and the strategic plan for 2026 to 2030, the region now has a long-term direction and a roadmap. But how are these regional priorities brought together, and how can these plans deliver meaningful results to its citizens? To help us unpack these questions, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Awira Anthony, the Director of Planning, Coordination, and Partnerships. Dr. Awira, welcome to IGAD ONE.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, Dr. Awira, to begin, as the Director of Planning, Coordination, and Partnerships Division, could you please tell us the role of the division and why is planning so important to advance IGAD's mandate?
Well, our division helps ensure that IGAD as an institution works together towards a shared direction.
Yes.
So how do we do that? We coordinate the overall planning, and here it includes setting the broad vision for the institution and the region, then translating that into strategic plans, operationally working on the annual plans, then of course putting in place the mechanisms that help you monitor those annual plans and the strategy, and then as well as the reporting for the institution as a whole, and then of course working very closely with our partners with whom we share common objective for the region, mobilizing their support to this agenda. We also support the provision of official statistics from our member states, which is quite important for policy and decision making. But also the division coordinates the preparation of IGAD as a region, our contribution towards the Agenda 2063. So we work with the countries to generate this data that we submit to the African Union that provides an overview of what we do or what we contribute to the Agenda 2063. So planning is important, as you rightly said, because it helps you to translate or turn your vision into action.
Yeah.
So that means here you define your targets, your priorities very well. You set up your monitoring system of how you are able to check yourself. Are you actually implementing what you set out to do? And then, of course, all this, as I said earlier, is important because it helps you really ensure that you support programs to meaningfully impact on the lives of the people of our region. So, in summary, I could say that without good planning, even the best ideas may be quite difficult to implement effectively. So it's important that you have a very strong planning system in any institution.
Thank you for explaining to us the importance of planning and the role of your division. Earlier, you mentioned the importance of also coordinating priorities across the region, but each member state has its own national plans, needs, or development goals. How does IGAD ensure that our regional plans and programs are aligned with the development priorities of its member states?
Ideally, as a matter of principle, or even as a foundational principle, regional agendas should be built or anchored on national priorities. In fact, let me put it this way, that regional agendas can only work best when well anchored on national priorities. And this is a fact. In essence, when you look at most of the aspirations or challenges confronting our member states, they cut across. Let it be from food security, from including climate change, migration, resilience, trade. All these are shared opportunities and challenges for our countries. So that basically tells you that no single country can single-handedly handle this on their own.
I see.
So now how do we go about this? At IGAD, our approach has been co-creation.
Okay.
So as we went about even developing our current strategy, we went clearly understanding that this was going to be a co-created process.
And what does that entail?
Exactly. So meaning we jointly identify the priorities together.
Okay. I see.
We jointly identify the implementation arrangements together. We jointly agree on the accountability framework, the monitoring framework together.
Okay.
We jointly agree on how are we going to review this together. So in that case, you find that this allows you to harmonize what we will do as a region collectively and what will be your role as a member state.
Yes.
And this is also further guided by certain principles. We have the principles of complementarity. That means we add value.
Okay.
We don't replace or take away your responsibility. That's important. We also recognize the importance of cooperative advantage. What do we best do as a leader? Where is our most added value as a regional economic community? And then thirdly, also we recognize the importance of subsidiarity.
Okay.
That means certain decisions are best made at certain appropriate levels. That means every institution adds value where it's most profound and important to the institution. So that helps us to harmonize rather than complement or compete, and then put our efforts together towards a common purpose. And that has helped us to really design this current strategy in a very, very robust manner.
Okay, then can I ask you on that point, how what happens if national plans differ from IGAD's regional plan?
Differing? Well, I wouldn't say differ.
Yes.
Because when we talk about aspirations of citizens, every country aspires to see growth, better conditions of living, better quality of life, improvement in their basic socioeconomic status or parameters. So this cuts across, essentially. And of course, even to see how really we work more closely as a globe, we have the SDGs.
Yes.
To which all countries have subscribed to.
For the people that don't know, can you just tell us what SDGs stand for?
SDGs means Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you.
Yeah, which were, those that as a global community, we said we want to see better conditions for our people. We want to see a free hunger world. We want to see safe water. We want to see better education outcomes. So those are shared across. As long as there's life and there are people, those are things that should be happy. And that is exactly what we also align as a region towards. And also, when you look at the African Union Development Agenda 2063, pretty much also fully aligned to that.
Okay.
So that means also the national development plans speak to those aspirations. But of course, real action now happens at the national level.
Thank you, Doctor, for helping us understand how harmonization is so important to develop a regional plan. A strong plan only matters if it produces results or delivers action. Of course, there can be implementation challenges. How does IGAD monitor progress, and how does it ensure that regional commitments are translated into tangible results for its member states?
Thank you. I mean, you raise a very good point. Implementation and challenges. In fact, let me put it this way. Implementation is where strategies either succeed or fail. That's quite very important. So, I mentioned earlier about the co-creation.
Yes.
Of our strategy. So that means that co-creation doesn't, stop at the design only. Co-creation happens across the entire program cycle.
Okay.
So you co-create at identifying the needs, you design the implementation arrangements, then you also design the monitoring. So, of course, we have had lessons from the previous strategies.
Mm.
And one of the areas that we acknowledge really needed huge work to be done was on the monitoring and evaluation. So what did we do this time around? We, in addition to agreeing with the countries on the what, we also now had to agree on how we will monitor this strategy. So what we have done is we've developed what we call a joint results framework.
Yeah.
It's a first of its kind in this current format. We have agreed together on those shared results. We have agreed together on the indicators for reporting on those shared results.
Mm-hmm.
We've also agreed together on the targets. And further than that, we also agreed on what are those to be implemented by IGAD as a region.
Yes.
And what are those that they will be accountable to as a member state. Because these two must work together to realize what we have agreed to do together.
Mm.
So now this provides the foundation for the monitoring.
Yes.
And in addition to that, we also have agreed on the schedule of how we will do the joint reviews together with them.
Okay.
That means periodically at a certain agreed timeline, we will sit together with the countries and say, but this is what we agreed.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you were supposed to do. How far have you gone?
Yeah.
And this is what we have done. How far have we gone? And there should be a chain link between what we produce at the regional level as IGAD and what does those outputs we generate as regional public goods, how do they translate into specific national actions or national influences?
Mm-hmm.
And the monitoring should be able to trace that pathway to the ground. So for every regional capacity we build,
yes,
how can we trace and see how those capacities have translated into something reform? A reform that has happened.
Yes.
For all the climate related advisories we give as regional public goods, how has this been utilized at the national level? Can we trace that value chain? This is what the results framework that we have designed is now going to help us deliver.
Wow.
And I'm very, very excited about this new approach. And we hope that and believe that this will give us a very robust reporting infrastructure, learning from the previous strategy, and hoping that this will give us a better capacity to demonstrate our value. What is important, as I said earlier, is at the end of the day, we want to see how or whether our investments, our programs indeed improve the lives of our people in our region.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you for showing us how IGAD is in close consultation with its member states during the planning and implementation process. Now let's turn to the vision. IGAD has just launched its Vision 2050, a landmark document that sets the region's long-term direction. How will the vision shape the future of regional integration and sustainable development across the Horn of Africa?
First and foremost, let me say the Vision 2050 is a collective roadmap to the future, to the IGAD we all want to see, or the IGAD we want to leave behind. It looks beyond the challenges. It tries to envision 30 years from now.
Yes.
What would you want the IGAD to look like? What do you want our region to look like? And what we are saying is that we want a region that is peaceful, a region that is resilient, a region that is prosperous, a region that is inclusive of its diversity, and a region that is interconnected. So what is the region? So the vision basically lays out that long-term appreciation of what you really want the region to be like. And then it also provides the pathways, the broad pathways to that long-term state of a region that you want to see.
Yes.
And this is quite interesting. It provides these massive pathways. It recognizes certain principles that are quite important for us to be to that state we aspire to be at. Let me probably highlight them in 6 broad points.
Go ahead.
1, it recognizes the importance of our people. It actually says the greatest resources we have, number 1, is our people. So it says you have to invest in the people of our region.
Yes.
That's really profound.
Yes.
And I find that actually very, very transformational.
Yeah, it's very meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 2, it's also recognizing the context of our region, says, but we need to have peace. Where there's no peace, even the people will not be comfortable enough,
of course,
to live their life that you want it to be prosperous. So you must put efforts to ensure there is peace in our region.
Yes.
And that really is also quite very, very foundational. And then, of course, trade, because if you're going to talk about prosperity, there must be trade. Trade should not be just limited to one geography. It should be across our region.
Yes.
And for that to happen, you must put the infrastructure for that to take place. Then it also recognizes the importance of new and emerging technology. You must harness this potential to drive this growth. And then, of course, recognizing that our region has really faced and continues to face the impacts of climate change,
yes,
given its ecological circumstances.
Yes.
And you must also build in some very strong resilience capabilities in the programming you do. So, in summary, the vision really gives us that good news, let me put it that way.
Hope.
Yes, the hope.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I would say that we now use that vision now to break it down to now the 5-year strategies, now to really unpack those pathways into specific priorities, and then now the resourcing for it, and then the execution for it, and then the review for it, and then the cycle goes on.
Thank you for sharing with us the details behind this transformative vision. Of course, a vision of this scale cannot be done alone. It will require good governance, strong commitments, and effective partnerships, as I've said earlier. What role should governments, development partners, civil societies, private sector, and the citizens of IGAD play to advance and achieve this future vision?
As I mentioned earlier, the Vision 2050 is our collective roadmap. So that means it belongs to all of us.
Yes.
And if it belongs to all of us, it means there are shared responsibilities. So absolutely, there is a role for everybody. We have the governments, and here I'm talking about the ministries, the departments, the agencies, play an important role, providing leadership, both political, even technical implementation leadership, policies, enabling environment within the countries to implement these programs. The countries have a clear role in that. When you go to the non-state actors, now here we have the development partners.
Yes.
On one side, who also support both technical and as well as even investments to this agenda. We have now the private sector.
Yes.
Quite an important stakeholder. Actually, it's one of the most crucial stakeholders now we have in this new strategy as well, playing an important role that ranges from driving investment, driving innovation, unlocking ideas and opportunities. Quite very, very important. Of course, that's where job creation comes in here from the private sector side. You go to the civil society as well, playing an important role, ensuring that there is inclusivity, there is accountability, there is community participation.
Yes.
Quite important there. And of course, the citizens themselves are at the center of this, the heart of this vision.
Their vision, this vision is theirs.
It's theirs.
Yes.
It belongs to them. So
Yes.
they are both beneficiaries, but also as agents of change to this aspiration. So with that, let me probably summarize in this way. If every stakeholder plays their part
Yes.
and work together, then I can't say without contradiction that we can achieve more than any single institution or member state can do on their own.
Very hopeful. A very hopeful message.
Thank you.
So before we conclude, let's bring the conversation back to the people at the heart of this vision. What key messages would you like them to take away from this vision?
Yep. Let me wrap it up in three key messages.
Please do.
This way, Iman. One is a message of optimism. I think the Horn of Africa presents enormous opportunities.
Yes.
Make no mistake, we recognize the challenges, but the opportunities are huge.
Yes.
That means while we face these challenges, we confront them, we should not forget that the opportunities we can harness. And we can transform our region as we harness those opportunities and utilize them for the benefit of our people. That's one.
Yes.
Number two is that I know as a regional economic community, one of our core areas of focus of mandate is on integration. But I want to say this, that as important as it may be, it's not about institutions or governance. I think integration is about improving the everyday life of the citizens of our region. That means the integration agenda that we drive is to create better jobs, bring trade opportunities, greater resilience, and a better life for everyone. Then last but not least is the vision is an invitation. It's an invitation to the future.
Yes.
Basically, it's saying, here's the invitation. Come with me. Let's work together. Let's work together. Let's coordinate. Let's cooperate. We can achieve a lot more together as a region. And that's what this vision largely speaks to.
Today's conversation reminds us that the Vision 2050 is about more than a destination. It is about the choices being made, the partnerships built, and the actions taken to get there. Thank you for joining us today and for sharing your insights on planning, coordination, and the future of regional integration.
Thank you very much for having me.
To you, our viewers and listeners, thank you for tuning in, and make sure to follow us across all IGAD platforms. That was IGAD ONE. My name is Iman Haji. Until next time.